Chapter 21, the 80-20 rule. The last building block in the EAT pyramid is the 80-20 rule. We have previously covered hydration, superfoods, quality, meal patterning, and quantity. All are essential in developing a successful eating plan. As we wrap up this section, Let Food Be Your Medicine, we need to include the best-kept secret for living healthy without making sacrifices. It's the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is a sustainable lifestyle plan that can be maintained and enjoyed forever. The 80-20 rule allows us to make room for the things we love without giving up our health and still see the results we're looking for. Here's how it works. For 80% of the time, focus on eating the highest quality foods found within the two center circles of the food target. The other 20% of the time allows room for some of the things we love, like birthday cake, dinner and wine with our friends, and mom's home cooking. After all, a healthy lifestyle is about balance with a mix of eating for purpose and eating for pleasure. Following the 80-20 rule, we become more mindful of the eating experience, which allows us to pivot when needed. This is the biggest reason why diets don't work. The reason birthday cake is so special is because we only have it on a special occasion. The next time you are thinking about going on a diet, ask yourself, does this program make sense? Can I really live on 1,200 calories per day? No fruit, no potatoes, no oatmeal? Eating only apples for the entire day? Or only raw foods? No liberties? Most of us at one time or another have tried some type of diet only to abandon ship after a specified period of time or specific result. Then we immediately go back to our old ways or patterns of eating. A better option is to follow the 80-20 rule. For 80% of the time, focus on eating healthy. For 20% of the time, we can splurge a bit. The plan allows 4 meals per week or 6 days per month to splurge a bit. Mindful eating rules to live by. Mindful eating is about paying attention to eating with a purpose. It is a non-judgmental practice of eating in a way that makes us feel healthy and happy and uses our intuition or common sense to make choices. We should not have to rely on science, diets, trends, programs, books, or technology to tell whether a food is truly healthy. We already know. So let's start with the number one rule to mindful eating. Rule number 1, use common sense. There is so much information out there that sometimes we can lose our common sense when it comes to eating. Do we really believe that adding butter to our coffee will boost metabolism? Is it smart and sustainable to completely give up carbohydrates? Where will we get our energy from? How long will this no carbohydrate diet really last? Does energy really come in a can? Remember, we do not eat nutrients, we eat food. Food is the most powerful medicine on earth. The behavior we choose should be sustainable for life. We should not give up carbohydrates during the week and only binge out on the weekend. We need to build a lifestyle that sticks. A key factor to a long-term healthy and sustainable lifestyle is recognizing that it must be done with pleasure. Rule number 2, extremes and food restrictions do not work. Yes, being too healthy is absolutely a thing. When we live too healthy, we take the fun out of eating. And when we live too unhealthy, we take the fun out of life. The more we restrict, the more we want. Life is about freedom, especially when it comes to our eating choices. Find balance, it's much more fun. Do not give up anything, just make everything better. Rule number 3, be aware of how much and how often you indulge. We do not get pleasure when we overdo things. Perhaps that piece of chocolate cake would bring instant gratification, but will not bring long-term health and happiness. Think about it. That ice cream we love so much would be much more rewarding if we do not eat it every day. Do not overdo anything. Add variety to life and practice in moderation. Everything can fit into a healthy lifestyle. Rule number 4, Pause before giving in to cravings. Most cravings only last 10 minutes. To distract from the craving, we can go for a walk, take a stretch or breathing break, or drink some water. Revisit the cravings after 10 minutes. If it's still there, think about how that particular food will make you feel after you eat. Does it energize you or make you lethargic? Does it contribute to your long-term goal? Is it really worth it? How can you make it better? We need to become aware of our food choices and the reasons behind them. Is it boredom or stress creating the craving? It is okay to give into those cravings from time to time, but not all the time. Start to build that muscle to say no or not now. It does not mean that we can never have it. It is that just now may not be the right time. Rule number 5, allow for special occasions. Look at the relationship and bigger picture. One meal of splurging will not ruin your long-term health goals. My wife comes from a large Lebanese family where food is definitely the center of every occasion. We get pleasure by feeding people because food is love. It connects us and is meant to be shared. Food is social, and our social interactions also contribute to long-term health and happiness. We do not remember the things we buy, but we do remember the meals we eat and with whom we share them. Rule number 6, find things that make you live more mindfully. These things can include traveling, wine, dinner, home-cooked meals, Sunday brunch, coffee dates, adventures, and yoga. Traveling allows us to be present and soak in new experiences. It is a state of complete engagement. Be strategic about meals when traveling. We do not travel all the way to France to eat a packaged croissant on an airplane. Save this experience for that little cafe where a freshly baked croissant and a cappuccino can be enjoyed while watching people. Plan ahead and take some time to scope out the best food spots. Be present and take in the full experience. Rule number 7, stop worrying about being perfect. There is so much more to food than eating to lose weight or be healthy. It is an experience that is meant to be enjoyed in every way. It's not about being perfect. It's about being better. A key factor in long-term sustainable weight loss is recognizing that it must be done through pleasure. Rule number 8, do not take shortcuts. Shortcuts do not work, and they will never work. When we build a lifestyle over time, it will become more effortless. Willpower and motivation will run out. It is our lifestyle and our daily habits and rituals that will always pick us back up again and again. Remember to be intentional about our choices and mindful about how much and how often we indulge. Food is an experience and is meant to be enjoyed in every way. 80-20 rule essentials. Big picture. 80-20 rule. For 80% of the time, focus on high-quality foods and beverages. For 20% of the time, make room for the things you love like birthday cake or mom's home cooking. Mindful eating is paying attention to eating with purpose. Use common sense to make healthier choices. Understand that extremes and food restrictions do not work. Food is an experience to be enjoyed. Ask yourself, is food on your mind 24/7? During a typical week, how often do you indulge? Are there certain trigger foods that get you going, like the slogan for the Lay's potato chip claims, you can only eat just one? What are some of your trigger thoughts? How can you become more mindful with your eating experience? Small steps. Develop consistent eating patterns. Plan your meals. Think ahead and ask yourself if that piece of cake is really worth it. And lastly, your goal is to make small changes and slowly develop an eating plan that you can enjoy and sustain.